All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Sports Senseis. I am your girl Sensei. Thank you for joining us once again this Tuesday as we get into all these sports topics. We got a lot to discuss today. We'll be talking about Deion Sanders, Nick Saban, and Jimbo Fisher. We'll also be talking about the Eastern Conference Finals as well as the Western Conference Finals, and maybe even giving some finals predictions. There's a lot we got to discuss, but what better place to discuss it with than the Sports Sensei? So I am actually going to shoot to our promo video here, so you can go ahead and check us out, because we do have our own promo video as well as the ASAP video, and then me and my co-hosts are going to come back in and we're going to join you, so stay tuned.
Throw some fire bitches right now. Ooh.
Welcome to another edition of the Sports Sensei. I am your girl Sensei with my wonderful, lovely co-hosts, Ruth the Truth and Jay Nicole. What's going on, ladies? Are y'all ready to get into these topics?
Yes. But before we jump into things, because obviously the NBA playoffs are heating up as the Eastern Conference Finals and Western Conference Finals are on their way, I just want to take a second to shout out the Tampa Bay Lightning last night for closing it out against the Florida Panthers. We got rid of all the kitty litter here in Florida, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be going on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Ladies, bolts in four. I had the opportunity to attend the game last night with my sister, which was a lot of fun because my sister has never been a sports girl, but I think it's starting to like rub off on her a little bit because she's really starting to see the excitement of the fans and how we all interact in the games and how we all just are one in that moment, which is awesome. But yeah, shout out to the Lightning for putting on a great performance. It should have been a 4-0 closeout. We had 2 of our goals taken away early in the periods, but nonetheless, the Tampa Bay Lightning are on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals, going against either the Hurricane or the Rangers. The Hurricanes leading that series 2-1 at this moment. I believe they play tonight as well. So it's awesome that the Lightning are getting a little bit of a rest as they wait to face their opponent in the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's looking like we might have another Stanley Cup appearance, just saying, because the way they were able to play defense and completely close out one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference for the NHL, which is going to be the Florida Panthers, who won 58 games in the regular season. So great performance overall. And yeah, just shout out to the Tampa Bay Lightning and all the fans that were in the Amalie Arena. I actually just saw somebody in the elevator that was like, "Did you go to the game?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And he was like, "I could feel the energy coming out of the TV. So I can only imagine how it was like being in the actual arena." And I was like, yeah, I still got goosebumps. It was pretty intense. So yeah, shout out to Tampa Bay, huge sports city, and I'm gonna close it out with that so we could start these NBA topics. Thanks, ladies.
No problem. That's super dope. Yeah, where you from, girl?
Look at the nails. I don't even know how to put the drip on the nails. Like
drip on the nails.
I love it. I love it.
No,
I'm gonna have to come and sell the hat.
dope.
You have to send me a lightning hat when they win. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
we need some gear. Send us some gear, Ruth.
Yeah, I had to take a couple trips to the store yesterday because they just had so much to pick from, and I can be a really undecisive person. But I snagged this hat. I got this really cute long sleeve sweater hoodie type thing. But it's crazy to think about that one of the best teams in the NHL right now is a team from Florida. Like, we don't even have ice out here. Like, what is ice? I feel bad for the workers in the Amalie Arena who are in charge of making sure this place stays, that arena stays cold, because I don't know how they do it with this 95-degree weather out here. Like, it must be a mission. That's all I gotta say.
Seriously, it has to be, definitely. But congrats to them. Shout out to them. I'm gonna start checking them out because Ruth the Truth convinced me to be a fan. So
they're pretty fire, and the fan base, obviously Tampa being a huge kind of college town at the same time, a lot of young fans that you could definitely relate to, and it's a lot of fun. So I feel bad for all the Panther fans that were in that arena last night because some of these Lightning fans were being real ruthless. So
you said y'all got rid of the kitty litter. That was good. I like that.
I love how the mascot last night, he was walking around with a pet carrier that had a stuffed animal of a cat inside that had a Panthers jersey on, and he was just walking around the glass, like pointing at the cat, and like it was a lot of fun. I love the crap talking in there. It's pretty intense. So
the disrespect. Well, all right, ladies. Well, let's go ahead and hop into some of these topics here now. I know I mentioned that we were going to talk about the NBA playoffs, of course, because that's going on right now. But something that I do want to talk about that happened within these past couple of days during this week is this whole college football debacle with the NIL and all this craziness that's been going on. So to fill you guys in case you don't know, like, I'll just give you like a little briefing really quick. So Nick Saban was on, I don't know if it was a podcast or he was doing like an interview or something, but he was somewhere on the stage. He was live. They were asking him questions about, the NIL and things of that nature and how it's been affecting college football. Has it changed anything? Has it made recruiting harder, easier, et cetera, et cetera? So Nick Saban pretty much alluded to the fact that Travis Hunter, who went to Jackson State to play for Deion Sanders, that he was pretty much paid $1 million to come to Jackson State, and that they were bragging about it in the paper, and like nobody did anything about it, and how it's wrong, and this, and how Texas A&M has the #1 recruiting class, and they pretty much pay for every player that they have, and so I mean just pretty much just taking shots at Jimbo Fisher and Deion Sanders, kind of like in a quote unquote subliminal way, but not so subliminal at the same time. So obviously, Deion Sanders, if you know Deion Sanders, then he was not happy about it. He had a lot to say about it, which rightfully so, as well as Jimbo Fisher. I don't know if y'all saw what Jimbo Fisher said, but he let the chopper sing on Nick Saban, okay? Like, he was not having none of the BS. So before I give my opinion, what do you guys think about the situation? What do you guys think about the NIL? And yeah, I mean, I guess we could just start it from there and just let it rip. So Jay, since we got our girl back, you go first.
Yeah, everybody missed you, girl. How you been?
Yeah. Don't leave us.
I am here. I am back at work, all kinds of fun things going on. But yeah, so so overall with the NIL situation, I think it was good for these players, right? They have been fighting for this. You see the coaches are getting paid millions of dollars, right? And they've been told, oh, but you're getting a scholarship and you're getting a free education, right? Why can't they make their money now? Because some of these college players won't make it to the professional leagues, right? And get their money. So let them get their money now. Let the NIL, I think it's a good deal. I feel like Nick Saban is petty. And why? What are you doing? Like, everybody wants to go to Alabama from anywhere. Who knows? I'm sure y'all was doing whatever y'all was doing before that and sliding some people in this time. So now that the NIL has come into fruition and you want to throw Jimbo Fisher and throw Deion Sanders under the bus and how come this and that, because you like, look, y'all taking away from my stuff. But really, like, hey, let the competition begin. Who can get the best recruiting class? Use your NIL, do whatever you're going to do, and let's see what it's really about. Alabama, you know what I mean? I just think it's petty. Like, this is what came out. let the NIL, let the players get what they get, let the schools recruit the way they do, and may the best team win at the end of the day, right? Like, I just feel like, why you really? You've been good, you're good, going to this national championship every year, right? Like, but now you just being petty. Let the players get their money, get their funds, go to whatever school they want to go to, and let it be that. Because all the stuff we know has been going behind the scenes for years and years and years to these big schools, right? Come on. So that's it. Nick Saban, stop being petty.
Roof, bitch, roof.
I don't even know how to follow that because she just took all the words out of my mouth. Let these players make their money. I mean, a majority of these players do not make it into the professional level. So this is their opportunity to shine. And a lot of these, I guess, marketing tools for these young kids is they're following on social media. And the younger generation is all about their social media. So let them, take advantage of a tool that has been offered to them that maybe past generations could not, exemplify. So I'm totally okay with it. Deion Sanders saying something to the media or clapping back, is that a surprise? Absolutely not. As people alluded to in the comments, I think Alabama has had their hands in their recruiting styles and how they might offer money on the tables to have high recruits attend their college programs for them to play football under Nick Saban. Obviously, when you hear the name Alabama, that's already a target that you want to hit. That's already a school that you want to be involved with how many championships they have and the respect that they have in their division. So I knew that as soon as college players started getting paid, like things were going to start getting messy. Lines were going to start getting crossed and, but how we need to do it this way. Oh, but this player is making too much money. It's just going to be a lot of things that they still need to figure out because this is kind of new where these college players are actually, having paychecks and able to support their family. So I think it's going to take a while for this process really to be delegated properly. So teams can't feel like, oh, they had a better opportunity, but Nick Saban, shut your mouth. You got a trophy case as it goes on and on and on and on. So it is what it is. Am I surprised Deion Sanders clapped back? Absolutely not. Speak for yourself. Stand up for your college program and stand up for the students. So I'm all about it. And I'm a huge fan of Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, as you know. So, yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think my thing is that the reason why Nick Saban said what he said and feels how he feels is because the NIL has now leveled the playing field. It's not Nick Saban and everybody else anymore. Because let's be all the way honest, a lot of the players that went to Alabama, he was for surely paying them under the table. Like before the NIL came into play, like he was moving families were leaving their, coming from all the way from who knows where to live in Alabama. Nobody wants to rightfully just live in Alabama. Like if you had a list of places that you want to live, you're not like, where I would love to live in Alabama. Why? For what? For what reason? You don't think Nick Saban had those players driving in Camaros and Dodge Chargers? Like come on, man, these is college kids, bro. Like he's literally being able to recruit all across this country because of the fact that he's able to bribe players for one with success, like Ruth said, like, he's won championships with the success rate of trying to send players to the NFL because Alabama is pretty much a pipeline to the NFL at this point. And as well as there's incentives, like there's incentives for being an Alabama player way before the NIL came into play. The problem is now with the NIL, not only can he pay people, but so can these other schools. Texas A&M can now offer the same thing. Texas A&M can sweeten the deal a little bit and say, hey, like if you don't want to go to Alabama, you can come to Texas, and this is what we can provide. This is what we can do. These are the opportunities that we can present for you. So now it's not Nick Saban and everybody else now. Now it's here. Now it's aligned. And what they really didn't want was for somebody like Deion Sanders to go to an HBCU and get a top recruit, because let's keep it, and I hate even going here, but let's just keep it 1,000%. Most of these programs are built off the backs of Black players, period. Alabama is probably the top example of that. Their top players, usually Black men. So now you have a Black coach at a historically Black college, and he's coming into this house, and not only, because this is not just a regular person, this is Deion Sanders. This is one, like you said, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest football players of all time, and he can talk. Like prime, like this is prime time we're talking about here. Like he can talk. If anybody can convince you to do something, it would be prime time. Like he gonna make anything sound good because that's just his personality. That's how he is. So the fact that he was able to go into a top recruit's house and convince him to come to his little HBCU, because that's how most, you know what I'm saying, most of the top universities look at HBCUs. It's kind of like a joke. Like now he's able to pull a number one recruit to come to his little HBCU school, and he can make money. They wasn't gonna let that slide. Like that wasn't gonna go in the radar without it being some kind of criticism. It's just surprising. It was surprising, but at the same time, it's kind of not coming from Nick Saban, because it's Nick Saban and he's a narcissist. If you know Nick Saban, you know. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like for me, like I wasn't shocked at the comments, but it just opened up a broader issue in my opinion. Like I said, these coaches hate the fact that now they can't pimp these players the way that they used to. And that's just what it is. Like they can't get away with the things that they can get away with anymore. And now everybody is seeing eye level. Like it ain't levels to it anymore. Everybody's on we all on the same page. And they hate that, especially somebody like Nick Saban, because now they finna be dipping in his recruiting pot. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and it's like why I don't like. There's just so many things wrong with what you said. It's because like you got Jimbo Fisher had the number one recruiting class. Alabama's number 2. It ain't like you went from number 1 to like number 15. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. But I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to see, you know, kind of how you guys felt, because it was like the hot commodity for a couple of days. But yeah, man, it's
anytime that you could get the media talking about your school, talking about your program, talking about your coaches is always good publicity. So in the end, this could be helping HBCU schools have other organizations or other corporate higher up people think, you know what, we should start leveling out the playing field. Thank you, Nick Saban, for mentioning it, how unfair it could swing both ways. So it might have just, I could just say that head coaches just need to stay off the podcast. Like just stay off, because people are going to be taking these sound bites and running with it. And even when you stumble on your words and say something maybe you didn't meant to say, it's going to go all the way to the bank. So just stay off the podcast. Save it for us professionals, and stick to the sidelines.
Yeah, don't go to any more podcasts unless it's the Sports Senseis. If you want to come to the Sports Senseis, then you're more than welcome. Other podcasts, it doesn't work as well. But I do want to play devil's advocate a little bit and phrase the question this way. How do you think Nick Saban's comments are going to affect like future recruits? Do you think the future recruits are looking at something like that and looking at those comments and being like, wow, like this is how he feels, this is how he looks at me? Like, do you think that could change the trajectory for future Alabama recruits?
I wouldn't say his comments are what is changing the trajectory, but having coaches like Deion Sanders, who are well respected in the NFL and from their culture of people, I think the more those people keep stepping up and filling these positions are better for these young athletes that are finally starting to catch on. You know what? The NFL wouldn't be anything without us. So let's start, making the even playing ground for everybody.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, it needs to be even playing ground for everybody, right? Like you know what I mean? Again, the big schools been paying people for years and years and years underneath the table, been doing different things. And so now it's starting to get matched. We want to see these HBCUs be able to compete with the bigger schools, what did Deion Sanders call the PWIs? PWIs, yeah. Right? We want to see it. So I'm here for all of it. Like I said, I'm excited. I want everybody to get their money and do their thing. So more competition, the better. Let's go.
Definitely. More competition, I think, is better. And I like the idea of things being more even, just because, like Jay said, like the more competition, like it's not just Alabama and, you know what I'm saying, another like a Clemson or Alabama and LSU all the time. Like it's changing up now. And I mean, so there's a lot of noise being made, especially with Deion but I feel like Deion is about to shake college football for like the next, once they get a solid enough team and they really start to be successful, he gonna really shake the table. Things are about. There's about to be a big shift.
Wasn't he undefeated in his first season?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they ended up losing. Maybe
I can't remember what the record was.
Yeah, like they ended up losing like right before like the championship or something, or two rounds before. I don't remember how it played out, but they had a really successful season in his first season. Shout out to my co-host Megan Price, Beyond the Rim. Shout out to you.
Oh, and shout out to Mike Hughes, who I just put a happy birthday on his timeline.
Mike.
Yeah, shout out to
brother,
Mike Hughes.
my young Saha, my young brother Mike Hughes, my
your other co-host.
My other co-host, my Chi-Town legend. Happy birthday to you. Also, shout out to the comment because he always supports every single show. Like he's always here, every single show in the comments. So we gotta shout him out.
Yeah, shout out to Michael in the comments who's blowing us up right now. We got Megan here. We got Victor. We got Freddie making some noise. We appreciate you guys taking the time.
Before, since we're speaking of Victor, because we brought, Freddie too. Shout out to Freddie, of course. But since we're bringing up Victor has a bone to pick with us. So Victor, if you're still watching this, please post in the comments the message that you sent me personally about the bone that you had to pick with it. I think it was me and you, Ruth, more so because I think it was he watched the last show. Okay. So you weren't there. So I think it's me, Ruth. I think it's me and you.
Vacation Ruth? Oh, that wasn't the same Ruth that you see here today, everybody. I was 30 minutes removed off of my 7th beer of the day. Like, don't take anything I said seriously that day. Like, I rewatched it and I said, "Oh Lord."
Can we talk about Vacation Ruth for a second? Because Ruth came on the podcast looking just about as tropical. And, I mean, it was just palm trees and pools and beaches and stuff in the back. She had this tan. She had this cute little shirt on with the curls out. I said, "Who is this?"
The fro was out. That's the after beach fro that I was rocking.
Am I interviewing right now? Am I interviewing a celebrity? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, if anybody is looking for a tropical destination, please go to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. It is so much fun. They treat us Americans like royalty over there. And yeah, I had a really great time with my family. I would redo those 2 weeks anytime.
We gotta officially, since I've seen Ruth travel a couple different places since following her and being a part of the Sports Sensei. So it's officially, we gotta take a Sports Sensei vacation. I need.
Well, we can do a live where we're all three sitting next to each other.
Oh my God! There you go. That'll be a good time. Couple drinks of tequila. We'll see what happens. Oh, Victor's back. Victor, please can you please explain what the bonus before we start talking about NBA playoffs? Can you please explain the bonus you have to pick with us, because he is so upset with us. He's so mad.
I can only imagine.
Matter of fact, let me
now he's gonna read it, find it.
Yep, I'm gonna say, let me see if I can.
He's gonna repost the same thing.
It was really funny. Like I was so weak when he said this to me. So he called. First of all, he started with calling me a hater. We're just gonna start there. We're gonna start there. He said, so I guess I'm gonna have to tell you again. Boston has droughts, and they get happy with the long ball, so they're gonna keep Miami in the game. But we will see. And I put a laughing emoji. He said, "I will be posting on y'all show talking about going 7." So I believe he was upset because we had Boston coming out of that series, and he's a fan of the Miami Heat. He has the Miami Heat going. I think he has them going to the finals, if I'm not mistaken. So he was not very happy that we decided to go.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we were just talking about game 1. I don't know if we were talking about the whole series. I don't remember. We could have mentioned both. But I mean, yeah, let's thank you, Victor, for setting the tone right now.
Let's dive into it. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference Finals, guys. So right now it's knotted at 2-2. It's headed back to Miami for Game 5. So Ruth, I'm gonna let you go first because you got me in trouble. So you go first.
I just want to say the series is knotted at 2-2 right now with the Boston Celtics. overcoming the Heat last night in the TD Garden. What blasphemy did we see offensively with the Miami Heat last night? I just want to say that I looked into it a little bit. There's never been a starting five score less than 18 points, which is what the Miami Heat starting five scored. As a unit, the starting five only scored 18 points. Now, since the NBA has started statistically, making the difference between starters and bench players, which started in the 70-71 season, there's never been a starting five that has scored that little in an NBA playoff game. So what in the world? But throughout this series, there's just been a lot of back and forth. There's been games where the Heat are winning by 20. Then there's games that the Celtics are falling down by 30. Or no, I think it was the Heat that fell down by 36. And it was it's been a lot of teetering back and forth. It's really, really hard to suggest or say it with my chest that the Celtics are going to take this series with the Miami Heat. I think if Jimmy Butler could stay healthy, as he left early in game 3 with knee soreness, and he did not come back in the second half, but the Heat were still able to hold it down with Bam Adebayo having an outstanding game, being that dog that we know that he can be, where he had a very unlikely game in the first 2 games of that series, but now it seems like he's back. If Kyle Lowry can actually stay healthy and consistently play throughout this Miami Heat series, and if Tyler Hero can be on the court, because I really think missing their 6th man of the year, shout out to Tyler Hero, earning that after being benched this season. He hasn't been able to stay healthy enough to be out on the court to help his teammates. But if all things fall into place for the Miami Heat, I have them putting away the Celtics only because if it goes to a game 7, it's going to be in Miami. So that's kind of how I'm weighing the options out in the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's been lackluster, if you must, because I mean, I would love to see a competitive game where they're 2 points apart in late in the fourth quarter, and it get to that moment where you really have to pay attention to the TV to see what's how it's going to play out. But that's not what we've been seeing throughout this series. So I hope they turn it up. And yeah, so Miami, it would be great for you guys to make it to the NBA Finals, because I do plan on going to a finals, and Miami is only a 3-hour drive. So I'm all about that. I don't want to travel all the way to Boston, but I will if I have to. He in 7 though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to because the Warriors they're going to the finals, but if you want to just come to California, I'm like an hour and a half. I'm just saying. I want it out there.
I would really consider that if I didn't have a birthday to celebrate with some friends. Not my birthday, a friend's birthday that weekend. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not even down to that yet. We don't know, but I'm definitely leaving all options on the table, because I've always wanted to go to San Francisco.
Yes, it's very, very nice. Very nice. But Jay, what you got, Boston and Miami?
Overall, let me say these NBA playoffs have been a series of blowout games where you're not thinking teams are gonna, right? But I mean, here's what I can say, right? Boston, the 2 games that they did win, I mean, it's complete blowouts, right? You saw them dismantle the Miami Heat last night. The defense, right? Can we talk about I'm seeing block shot after block shot, and I'm like, what is happening, Miami? I feel like, this is hard because I love Jimmy Buckets. I do. He was with the Bulls, and that's always going to, pull out my heart, and I want to pull for him. But I don't know, man. These Celtics, man, there's some fire here. Like you said, though, if it does go, like we said, if it does go to game 7, they're in Miami, right? And so home court advantage, so forth, right? But I mean, these teams have been, still in the game here, still in the game, still in the game at the other players' house, right? Like, they've been doing that. That's been a back and forth thing that we've seen throughout these playoffs. Jason Tatum is just Jason Tatum, and I salute him, and I really love him, and be like, man, this dude's only 24 years old.
He's fine, and he's fine.
He started.
And he's fine.
There you go.
I want to wait.
I'm gonna say it. He's fine.
Ladies, I don't want to cut anybody off, but I want to ask your opinion on the video that went viral. I know you guys probably saw it with Williams giving high fives to all the players in the locker room, and then Jason Tatum and his son Deuce got up and walked away as Grant Williams was trying to get a high five from Deuce. I mean,
I did see that.
That is the most disrespect I've ever seen a toddler just completely.
Deuce literally looked at him.
He looked at the floor. He saw his hand and looked at the floor. But there was a lot of people that were insinuating that Jason Tatum kind of like told Deuce not to give him a high five, so there might be some underling, something that we don't see. But what was your opinion on the high five missed by Deuce?
I thought it was hilarious because he literally looked at him and was like, "No, like I'm not gonna do it." Like and you can just see it in his face because he stood there with his hand out for a minute, like,
yeah,
and he was just like, "No, like I'm not gonna do it." Like love that. I love that. I love kids that are honest, like kids that are like, I just don't want to, and because you have to respect it. Like I'm such in the mindset, like when I have my kids, I'm gonna make sure that I preach that to them. Like if you don't want to do something, like I'm not gonna be the parent that forces you because it's an adult. Like you got to no. If the energy's off, don't do it. And Deuce was like, I don't really feel your energy right now, sir. Get out of my face.
I didn't like the way that you spoke to my father on the court, so I'm not giving you a high five. Michael, I think Michael in the comments has just offered to buy us dinner. I just hope he knows that, you know.
I'm expensive. I like lobster.
I only eat seafood as a pescatarian, so. You know, are we talking dollar menu? Like, what are we talking here? You gotta be specific. Can't even talk.
We know what you meant. We like shrimps and lobsters and salmon. So you gonna have to. But anyway, no, I'm gonna give my pick because Victor, you ain't gonna punk me, okay? I got Boston, and I still got. Yeah, I'm gonna say it with my chest. I got Boston, and I still got Boston. And I still think Boston's gonna win because I think they could possibly, if they can play how they played the other night, then I think that they could finish it in 6.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. But it's the but if they can play like that, and it's like we've all kind of alluded to at this point is that it's been so up and down. It's either
right.
Boston is dominating or Miami is dominating. There hasn't really been a consistency with this series.
It just worried me slightly that Jimmy Butler did not play the second half in Game 3, and the Celtics could not take advantage of that. I will say when Marcus Smart went down early in the second quarter, when it looked like his ankle snapped, how did he come back 5 minutes later? I don't even understand. Like I thought I heard a bone snap. I thought it was something real serious. The way that he was grabbing at his ankle and just completely screaming and agonizing pain, I did not understand how he was able to come back. I was really worried because if you're missing your defensive player of the year, when you're facing a team that Jimmy Butler is taking advantage of any player that you throw his way, Grant Williams, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, anybody that you want to throw on him, he's taking advantage. You need your defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart. So I'm glad that he's back. I mean, well, we always see this at this time in the NBA playoffs. I mean, we're talking about the conference finals. That means that they've just gone through, 3 rounds in the playoffs, as well as 68 or 74 plus games in the regular season. So these players are really, really beat up. So at this point in time, I think the best team that's going to win is the team that is going to take advantage of the rest period, making sure that they take care of their bodies and make sure they're available, because availability is the most important thing when it comes to winning an Eastern Conference conference finals in general.
Definitely. I totally agree with that sentiment. But I mean, I just, like I said, if Boston can just capitalize on the fact that they have the defensive player of the year, but they have like everybody on Boston is a defender. Like they're all great. They have an elite defense. Like that was what made it so shocking to see them rip the Nets apart, because it was like you got 2 of the most offensively skilled guys on the other side, and they just made them look pedestrian. So it's like you can do the same thing with this Miami team, because outside of Jimmy Butler, like who's really an intimidating offensive factor? Like Bam had a Adebayo in what was it, game Game 3, I believe, he had an out of body experience because literally the next game
I would say Victor Oladipo coming off the bench right now for the Miami Heat has been fantastic.
Absolutely, he has been, but still, Boston has enough to accommodate something like that. Like they still have enough firepower to kind of cease that. So it's like to take it, like stop playing down to the level. Like I just feel like Boston is a better team, to me, in my opinion, because they just have so many guys on their team can do so many different things, and that's what makes Boston as dangerous as they are. So stop playing with your food. Like just go ahead and finish the meal. Finish the meal, please. Like, but that's just me. So I mean,
I think the next 2 games are in Miami, are they not?
Well, it depends because Game 5 is in Miami. If Boston wins Game 5,
and then it goes back to Boston.
Go back to Boston, yeah.
And then 7 Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna go.
So
back.
that's why I'm like, if y'all can do it in 6, go ahead and get it done.
That would mean that the Celtics would have to win 2 games on the road for them to be able to win in 6.
If they win Game 5.
If they win Game 5, then they go back to the TD Garden.
Right.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. So
control the home court at that point.
Yeah. So Robert Scott in the comments, for you to say that Boston's in 6, I think that's a really tough standard to hold them to right now, the way the Miami has been playing. But like I said, it's been so much teeter-tottering throughout this series. If you get motion sickness, do not pay attention to this series because there's so much back and forth. And it's going to be interesting. So Boston and 6 will be real difficult.
Ruth with the one-liners today.
I'm feeling witty, guys.
You're feeling witty today?
Were you a rapper in your past life?
I woke up feeling witty.
The bars are just elite right now. They're just so good. I can't. But all right, so off of the Eastern Conference Finals, I think we've all given our opinion on that. The Western Conference, this is gonna be short because at this point it's over with. Like stick it for.
Is it over tonight, ladies? Is it over?
I think it is.
No.
I don't want it to be. I don't want it to because I like
they are in Dallas, I believe. Yeah, it looks like they're playing in Dallas.
They were in Dallas in Game 3, and it didn't matter.
See, what had happened was
it didn't matter.
No, it's like one Texas team left. We're gonna get a win.
What'd you say, Jay? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said we have one Texas team still here. We're gonna get a win. I can't see a Queen sleep. I feel like they're like, look, we gonna pull it off. We at home. We got to give our fans one win. Luka is Luka, and maybe Steph has an off night. Can we hope for that?
The confidence is so admirable. Like it's so admirable right now. But listen, it is OVER.
Maybe they want to go back. And Golden State wants to win
it's done.
Clay has off night. Somebody's gonna have an off night, and Lucas is gonna take over.
All the above. All the above. They all gotta have an off night, which is not gonna be impossible because we have seen Klay Thompson struggle in the first half, as well as Steph Curry not being as accurate of a shooter as we've seen before. But I think the only way the Dallas is not going to be swept by the entity of the Golden State Warriors is if Jalen Bronson has a phenomenal game, and not only him, but other players like Dwight Powell, who is going to be their center, as well as Reggie Bullock, who did score 21 points in game 2. In 0
for 10 in Game 3.
Was he 0 for 10?
He was 0 for 10. I'm not going to forget it. It was 0 for 10.
All right, that rests my case. I tried giving Dallas some but it's just I don't know if Luka is enough. But shout out to Andrew Wiggins for making Luka even look more of a badass, making him Scarface in the NBA. It's definitely appealing to his threat on the court and off the court. But yeah, it might be too much for just Luka. Doesn't matter if he's scoring 45 points. He can't do it all. I've seen him be very lackluster defensively. The refs don't always seem to like him. He's always getting called for technicals, getting called for fouls. So I think it might be over for Dallas tonight.
Listen,
No,
you know the saying of like when you're in when like women are in a relationship, how they mentally leave like a month prior to the relationship ending. Dallas is mentally gone already. Like they're already, because they've had
They're already in Cancun.
They're already in Cancun. They are Luka is in mentally. I mean, he's balling out. Don't get me wrong, but mentally, Luka is in Cancun with a hookah, a Corona right here, tequila shots lined up. Like it's over. Like the Drake song in 2010, it's over. It is a wrap. Put a bow on it and put it under the tree. It's
Damian Hernandez has a comment below that does not add up to what Sensei is saying right now. He said the Warriors are going to choke just like they choked against the Cavs in the finals, which I think he might be talking about how the Cavs came back after being down 3-1.
Listen, and I love that for him because I'll never let anybody forget it, especially Warriors fans. But here's the difference. This Dallas, LeBron James ain't walking through that door, my boy. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm sorry, and I like Luka a lot. I really do. Like, he's one of my favorite young guys in the league. It's just like kind of like John and the Grizzlies. It's not his time yet.
Yeah.
Golden State smells blood. They're on this redemption. They're on this redemption tour. They feel like everybody's been doubting them, and because they had 2 years where they were not the top team, and so everybody was getting their chances and firing their shots off. So they're motivated to get it done, and they're going to get it done.
Yeah, they're going to win the series, and they're going to last year.
But the question is, are they getting it done tonight?
Yes.
No.
In Dallas.
Yes. Dallas is going to get one win.
Yes.
If the Jazz got one win, Dallas gonna get one win. It's like, look.
Listen, you know how when you
but they don't got a Rudy.
What is Rudy? Listen, Rudy Gobert is the most overrated defender I've ever heard in my life.
You can't say a 7-footer is overrated. Like when their wingspan is almost 9 feet, that can't be overrated. Like over height maybe, but overrated no.
If you're offensively skilled enough, that man is barbecue chicken. Okay,
you ain't right.
I'm being all the way honest. Listen, the Dallas Mavericks are a well done steak. It is a wrap. They're done.
Here's the thing. It might be because you heard in the press conference, Jason Kidd was already talking about how we're gonna be great for years to come, and it's like, so you already talking like, look, I think clearly they know the series is over, but if they want to have any sense of pride, like we didn't just come in here and get swept after we banged the Phoenix Suns at their home, it wasn't even a game. Like they were playing a scrub team who didn't just go to the NBA Finals last year. So I feel like for pride purposes, for home purposes, everything's bigger in Texas. They're like, let us pull out this one game and then we'll go take our loss in Golden State. We won't even start none of our starters at Golden State. We'll just let it.
It sounds wonderful. It sounds great. But at the end of the day, that light-skinned babyface assassin is on a mission. And they done been talking smack, and it's been, listen, they are going to cook Dallas. Dallas is stir fry. It's over with. It is tonight. It's over with. I'll say this. I'll be surprised if Dallas wins tonight. Like I think they're gonna come out on fire. I think they're gonna come out firing. You know what I'm saying? Because they are at home, and like Jay said, they want to have a sense of pride. They don't want to get swept. But this is not the Phoenix Suns. This is the Golden State Warriors. These are seasoned veterans. These are guys that are 3-time champions. They ain't seen or had to overcome. So,
but we also saw the Warriors struggle with the Memphis Grizzlies after John Morant was hurt. I mean, we've seen the Warriors, the NBA has found out a little bit of their kryptonite and how to come at them correctly defensively. And if their perimeter shooters are not having a good night, they struggle in the paint. So I think Dallas does have a chance to not get swept tonight. I don't think Mark Cuban would sleep well for the rest of the year if they got swept by the Golden State Warriors. I don't think they want to let their man down like that. So I have Dallas winning tonight. The Warriors take it away in Game 5. Game 5. But I will say that I think they're going to get at least one win in this Western Conference Finals.
There we go, Ruth. Mark had the same color as the Dallas Mavericks. So
First of all, Mark Cuban is a billionaire. He'll sleep just fine.
He's competitive though.
Yeah, he is. You saw him coming at Tunchi like that on Twitter, on social media.
But Tunchi started it. No, that's the
because he called Luca out of his name. That's why. And Mark Cuban came to his defense.
He wasn't having that.
He called Luca a hoe.
So what does that actually mean when a man calls another man a hoe?
It's almost calling him the B word, pretty much.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Essentially, like if you, but that is, yeah, it's kind of like if you call it depends. It also kind of depends on the context that you use it in as well. And the way that he was using it was kind of like calling him soft, calling him, like I said, calling the B word without necessarily calling him the B word. So, but even like Mark Cuban, what he said was like he just put a picture of him up and like used his lyrics. It was like he didn't. Come on, Wayne. Like you shouldn't have reacted to that, my boy. Like it wasn't that deep. It was not that deep to the point where like he reacted the way that he did. Like he was that angry, and then he got freaking Skip Bayless on Undefeated the next day defending him. Like, yeah, I talked to my friend Lil Wayne, and he was mad because man, shut up. It ain't that serious, bro. It's not that deep. It is not that deep. Skip's so happy to be friends with that man. It's sickening sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I be like, bro, we get it. Like y'all talk fine.
That's a claim to fame right there in the music world.
And I'm like he just be. Can you imagine Skip Bayless riding around listening to Lil Wayne?
I can see it now.
Think about it. What do you think his favorite Wayne song is?
Fireman.
I can see it.
What is your favorite Lil Wayne song? Because Fireman is definitely one of the old school songs from Lil Wayne. That's when I really started listening to him. I think I might have been in the 7th grade when that song came out. That was one of the first songs I had on my iPod. Don't even know how to say it right anymore.
Wow, that's a good question because I remember like. Wait, how old are you again, Ruth? You like 29, right? 29?
I'm 29. I just turned 29.
Okay, so I'm 30, so we're right there.
Oh yeah, we did.
So because I remember like Hot Boy Wayne, like when he was with like Juvenile and all them. So like I gotta think about that because there's a lot of Wayne songs that I like. Like I grew up on Wayne pretty much. So
yeah.
I don't know.
He was definitely a big part of our generation when it came to the rap game, and coming from Louisiana and me living in the South, there was always just a lot of Lil Wayne everywhere. He kind of fell off for a little bit, but he came back into the music scene. He just came out with a new song with Doja Cat that's pretty fire. And he's been dropping on a lot of features here and there that always come out banging. But like I don't know if we're ever gonna see Lil Wayne do a whole album as he did in the past. I think he's better off just featuring on some people's songs and making his money that way. But
no, I agree. But I mean, he's definitely returned to form. Like the last few like a lot of the features like he's done this year have all been fire. Like a couple songs he dropped here and there. But yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that. Jay, what's your favorite Wayne song? Put the pressure on.
I do have to look back. A Millie. I really like that in 2028.
That's a good one.
I think that's a good one. I had to think. I mean, anything he does with Drake, because Drake, my husband, he don't know yet. But so anything with Drake, you know what I mean? I had to go back because I had to you have to look at him, right? Because you be like, what's the name?
I gotta really go back and look at all his songs because like you got mixtape Wayne, you got like there's so many different ways.
I had to like come look at some stuff. I'm like, go DJ. Is that like going back from there like 04?
That's a good one.
Yeah, you gotta look back just because I'm like, I know the lyrics, but what's the name of the song?
I know, right? I'm looking for that one song, that one little Wayne song that's really popular. It's like a slow song. Is it solo or single? Yeah, I'm single. Yeah. I used to have that song on repeat back in like 2013 when it dropped. Like that song was fire.
That whole mixtape with that song on it, like that, I lived off of that mixtape for the entire summer. Like when he dropped that, that's the only thing I was listening to that whole summer. But I want to start a poll with the Sports Senseis. And actually, it's going to be like a trivia question. How many husbands does J. Nicole have? Because every time we discuss
So we got Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Who did she just mention right now?
Drake.
We got Drake.
Drake.
Okay. Who else? Who else? Who was her basketball person? I can't remember
I
now.
do love Patrick.
Patrick
DJ Augustine.
DJ Augustine.
DJ Augustine.
Oh, Joey Cool. Joey Cool, my new crush. And Jimmy Garoppolo.
So that's
Jimmy
fine.
Garoppolo, he still got,
Oh yeah, porn star Jimmy. That's it.
Not Jimmy.
Not Jimmy. I mean, I don't want to know a football team, but he killed.
Who else is there? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
I don't know. I feel like that's the top.
Yo, the list goes on and on.
My white chocolate, it's my white chocolate. So yeah.
No, wait, who's your white chocolate? Oh yeah, well, Travis Kelce. I'm not even.
But Drake's the first. Drake trumps everybody. Drake.
Campaign Poppy.
Drake out.
Yeah.
I was obsessed in the beginning. Every concert, everything was Drake.
I still can't believe he had a kid.
What?
Yeah. And Chris Brown just had his third kid, and I'm just like, wow, Chris Brown's moving fast. And then Rihanna, shout out to Rihanna, her and ASAP just had their baby as well. The older I get, all my like celebrity crushes are all like settling down and having families, and I'm over here like, so you gonna stop making music? Like what's going on? Like,
well, y'all make some music. Why y'all over here making babies?
Y'all making babies. Y'all need to be making music. Like what are you doing? When's the last time Rihanna came out with an album? Like, come on, girl. I need my reread.
She dropped her makeup line and she was like, I'm good. She was like, that's what I do. Like,
she's a billionaire. She probably like, y'all can kiss my,
I made my makeup line. I'm good. I'll never make a song with it. I'm done.
I'm getting to this bag, to this money.
Yeah, so I want to throw a basketball question out to you ladies because it was just pondering in my mind because we were talking about Luka, how he's so dominant in the NBA, how people are scared of him. People aren't scared of Phoenix. I mean, according to according to Pat Bev, but people are scared of Luka, and obviously we've seen his talent. He's like averaging 31 points this playoff series or this playoff this season. So outstanding player at the young age that he is. And then we have John Morant, who's been outstanding as well, who a lot of people were having in the MVP conversation. Who is going to be the next face of the NBA once LeBron James retires? Are we thinking of a Luka? Are we looking at a John Morant? Or is there another name that you would throw out in the mix that's going to be the new face of the NBA? Because it's unfortunate, but LeBron James is probably going to be retiring soon. Maybe not this coming season, but it's inevitable. Father Time is finally starting to catch up. He can't stay healthy consistently. He doesn't want to be on a roster that's not in playoff conversation. So I don't know if he's gonna wait until little Bron makes it in the NBA. Like
not little Bron.
Little Bron.
Little Bronny. That's honestly a really good question because you can go so many different ways. Because people, I mean, you can still even throw Trae Young in that conversation too. Like Trae Young is another one that's like kind of in that bubble. I think right now it's gonna kind of go back to form where there's like it could be like multiple players that are going to be the quote unquote face of the NBA, because I don't think you could really put it on one particular person. I think Luka has definitely created separation from with himself and other players, but I don't think he's like the clear cut like this is the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't feel like that for me. Like because you're still, like you said, you got Ja, you got Trae Young, you still got Devin Booker. Like granted, he didn't play well in this last series, but he's still an elite player. Like we're not gonna act like he's not one of the top. You know what I'm saying? So, I just like the trajectory that the NBA is going in. Period, because you have so many young guys that are just coming in ready. Like they don't need that first year to kind of work out the kinks. Like they're just coming in hot. You know what I'm saying? Like they got stuff figured out. Like they have pace and like. Luka is probably like the best example because like Luka has always played at his own pace. You can't really speed him up. You can't make him do anything he doesn't want to do. Like, and he's mastered the art of being able to use his size and his skill set. So it's like I said, I don't know if I can give you like a clear cut answer of who the face of the NBA is or is going to be, but I just feel like that there's going to be multiple faces of the NBA going forward because there's just such a crop of talent. And they're all so like even Jason Tatum, like we didn't even speak like Jason Tatum is in that too. Like these guys are not even 25 yet. You know what I'm saying? and you don't really hit your NBA prime until you get like 26, 27-ish. That's like when it really clicks for you. But these guys are making stuff click, and they're not even sniffing 25 yet. You know what I'm saying? So
crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's my opinion. But
yeah, the only reason why I would put Luka ahead of Ja is his international reach. Like Luka being from Slovenia, having a lot of experience with playing overseas, playing for different European teams, playing with grown men in Slovenia when he was like 17 years old. Like he was playing with grown men at 17 years old. So there's a lot to say about Luka. I think his international reach kind of puts him ahead of Ja. Not saying that Ja isn't deserving of being the face of the NBA. Of course he is, with his talent and how he's been able to lead that team, and for that team to still believe in themselves even when Ja Morant was not available, which speaks a lot, because you already know that he's on the sidelines coaching his teammates and being there as a supportive teammate even when he's not available. So out of those two, I would just say Luka has the international reach, and he's been having a longer trajectory in the playoffs, and a lot of people only tune into the NBA when we're going into that playoff run, and Luka has had further pushes throughout the NBA playoffs since he's started in the league. So I would say out of those two, I would say Luka.
That's fair.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I would go Luka. Out of those two, I would go Luka too. Like you said, his reach, he almost. I don't want to make this. No, I'm not gonna make this comparison. But like, when have we seen? I don't know. I'm like, who can we compare to like Luka? Like he came in the scene, like everybody was just do
LeBron James.
Are we talking style of play?
The only difference to me is just like he's not as athletic, obviously. Like he's not jumping out the gym. He's not quick. Like he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like the reason I say LeBron is just because of playmaking ability. As far as like getting his teammates involved, being able to pass the basketball, and being able to slow the game down and like pick and create his spots. Because Bron is another one of those guys, like you can't really speed Bron up and make him do something he doesn't want to do. And like they're such thinkers of the game. So that's where the similarity is.
So this is where you're like, Luka is a baby LeBron. Which
that's I mean, like I said, with his size, you know what I'm saying, like skill set, that's the comparison, because he's never going to be as athletic like we.
Right. Nobody's ever going to be a LeBron. But I get that, and I can see that. I just love the way he I don't know. I just love the way he plays the game, and I think as he, you know what I mean. Now we're seeing him go to, Western Conference Finals, and if he can just get to that next step, right? If he can get to the NBA Finals, if he can get that win, being the young guy coming in, you're like, but see, then in the back of my head, though, I'm seeing Jason Tatum, and I'm like, man, can you imagine me saying Jason Tatum is like the superstar, like the superstar, right? And what he's done for Boston. I just like Luka. I do. And he's our last Texas team. He with the Spurs, but he's making the Dallas Mavericks relevant again, right? They had that 2011 championship, but like nobody's really ever talking about Dallas, and Luka like put him on the map again. So I'm excited to see what they do and what the future has for him. Side note, I want to shout out. Look, who I'm really looking forward to see, he still has time to go because he's after the Lukas and after the Trae Youngs and after Ja Morant. I want to see LaMelo Ball, okay? I love this kid, man. Can I talk about after he's not in the, right now, the new up and coming, right? Okay, Luka, Ja Morant. He just happens to listen. Can he not be like dare I say, like with his shooting ability and what he does, can he not be going into Steph Curry-esque
conversation? Absolutely.
He's not there yet, but like the shooting ability and the, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, listen. I was following you.
I mean, did he not win Rookie of the Year after missing a lot of games over a broken wrist?
Come on. Please finish.
No, because I'm like, okay, so I'm talking about the next upcoming after, right? Like he behind, but dude, like you cannot deny this man's talent. He went overseas when he was 16 playing with grown ass men. I just love LaMelo Ball. And if the Charlotte Hornets has some more talent, you know what I mean? Hey, he getting them to the playing game, okay? He's getting them to the playing game. I'm impressed, okay? I ain't gonna lie. So I'm just gonna sit that out there after the Lucas and the Jaws, but I feel like next man up, and he definitely can be Steph Curry-esque, and I will leave it at that.
Okay, listen.
Oh, blasphemy! Here we go.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna start this by saying I'm a fan of LaMelo Ball. I do like LaMelo Ball. I think that he definitely has a world of talent. He makes the game seem like really effortless. Like the game kind of comes to him. Like he doesn't really have to, exert himself too much. Like, he can pass the basketball really well. He is, willing to shoot. He can be kind of streaky sometimes, but he definitely is. He's good enough to be effective. Where you have to account for his shooting ability. Like it's not one of those situations where you can leave him open. Here's where I disagree, because when we talk about, and I'm not even the biggest. Well, I won't say that I'm not a Steph Curry fan. I'm just not like I don't fan out over him the way that everybody else does. But like he's an elite. And here's why I defer from that comparison is because there are a lot of things that Steph does that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet that kind of elevates him a bit more than like a LaMelo Ball. And I'm just not sure if LaMelo could be intangible enough.
You don't think he can get there? He can.
Yeah,
he can.
Like I think as far as like, maybe like impact for his team and like scoring ability, I could see where you were going with that. But if we're talking about all around player, like just player for player, like comparison, I'm not sure that LaMelo is going to get there.
Give time for LaMelo Ball to hit the gym, have him gain 10 pounds of muscle, and we'll see what happens.
I didn't say he was there yet.
No. I just, like I said, I know you didn't. I'm just saying, like, I just don't know if he's going to be able to elevate it, because that's quite a level to be. Like, Steph ain't normal. Like, Steph is different. So it's like that's quite a level that you got to elevate to, and it's like if he can get a more maybe like a more consistent jump shot, and kind of like and not be like learn, but that comes with experience. So I guess it's
right.
Like,
you only learn like second season.
There's certain times where it's like, all right, like you gotta do something else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
he's playing with the Charlotte Hornets, so the owner of that team, Michael Jordan, that is a big influence in his NBA career. And I think if he becomes a franchise player for the Charlotte Hornets with being led by Michael Jordan, I think we could see LaMelo Ball make a conversation for being the face of the NBA. I mean, people were already having a conversation about that in his rookie season when he was out with a broken wrist. So I wouldn't say LaMelo's counted out.
Yeah, for sure. If you give him some talent, I think he could definitely make it. It definitely would change the kind of the trajectory of his situation, because right now he's not really playing listen. He needs to get out of Charlotte.
When did Steph Curry start being Steph Curry though? How many years did he have in the league? Right?
That part.
He's been playing in that boom.
It did take some time, but a lot of that had to do with his health too. Like he wasn't always the most consistent. Like he wasn't able to stay on the court a lot of those the first couple of years. He had real bad ankle issues. Yeah. But the talent and the potential for that team was always there, and it always treaded up. Charlotte, when has Charlotte treaded up? Mm-hmm. They've always kind of been at the same.
A lot of up and downs. It's a lot.
I mean, when we talk peaks and valleys, it's been more valleys than it has been peaks. Let's keep it real.
Charlotte too. That's why. But now they got LaMelo Ball.
If he leaves Charlotte, listen to me.
I mean, you already know what LaMelo's daddy. If he ain't winning games, he ain't staying in Charlotte. So.
No, this is my PSA. LaMelo, leave Charlotte. There's a place about 5 hours from me.
Oh, here we go.
It's sunny. The weather's nice. There's beaches. You know what I'm saying? There's a plethora of women that you probably are attracted to.
What?
You heard that, JD Bus? Go get LaMelo Ball is what Sensei is telling you here on the ASAP Network.
There's a guy there that, you know, he's pretty tenured, pretty well known. You may know him. If you want to win, you know, purple and gold looks good on you. I'm just saying. It goes with the light skin. It goes with the light skin. I'm trying here. Listen, I need my boy to at least have 5 rings by the time he retires. I'm trying. Like, listen, I'm
huge finger.
Yeah, we just need 5 of them things. We good, man. 5 of them things. We good. We have 4. We need 5 of them things. We all right. But all right, is there anything else you ladies want to discuss?
Just to wrap up that subject, it is just really inspiring and admirable how young the NBA is playing right now and how these young players are earning these conversations of being the faces of the league. It makes it very exciting for the future of the NBA, how they're treading in the right direction. So that's great. As we see a lot of our favorite players turning into retirement, it does make us excited to see these young players actually putting forth the effort to become the new face of the NBA. And that's admirable and really exciting for the future. And great episode, ladies, of the Sports Senseis this Tuesday night on the ASAP Network. We appreciate all the comments that have been flowing in. We are nothing without y'all. We appreciate all the questions and all the combat conversation. All that has been great. And yeah, I can't wait to see y'all next week.
Yes, can't wait to see y'all next week. I'm gonna be in Vegas this weekend, so I just want to throw that out there. It's a great time. So just be on the lookout for me because I am going to have so much fun.
Woo!
Yes, have fun.
I like that.
Yes.
This weekend is my first niece's 5th birthday, which I'm really excited about. Her she's a Memorial Day baby, so her birthday is this weekend. So I'll be getting back together with the family, and we're all going to take her to Disney for her first time. So I got Disney coming up this weekend with the family. Super excited. But yeah, I can't wait to see, next week's episode where we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals that's coming up because the Eastern Conference and Western Conference is underway. And yeah, it's a very exciting time for sports fans.
I just want, that's going to be, I can't wait to discuss the NBA Finals. That's going to be so much fun. But I just want to just throw this out there, being that I just, told you guys I'm going to be in Vegas this weekend. So let's just collectively come together and just pray that I'm able to secure a baller, maybe get him on the show, or I'm in a relationship. It doesn't matter. I just want to secure some kind of situation here. So if we can just, send a little prayer out for me, and we can make it happen.
People don't go to Vegas to find love, Sensei. They don't.
Oh, that's not.
I've never heard of this.
That's the problem.
That's not true. They have the marriage chapel right there, so it's not necessarily true.
They don't go there to find love. They just go to get married quick and just
That's
right.
I'm just saying, if I could just snag something real.
Well, I think who is it? Is it Tory Lanez that has a residency in Vegas now? There's also some big artists that are going to be playing at Drea's nightclub. So if you need an in at Drea's, hit me up. Shout out to my boy Ivan that works the door.
Roof.
I got you.
Right on your line, babe. Right on
and
your
I got the Connect at Marquee nightclub as well. So hit me up.
Oh snap!
This is why I can't move to Vegas. I know too many people. I'd be out every single night. It would be Bad News Bears.
Is it
No.
Roof, is it Roof, not the lie, but the truth, right? Okay, got it. I just want to make sure I'm texting the right person.
Yes, absolutely. Great episode, ladies. This is a wrap for us. The Golden State Warriors are going to be playing the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so stay locked in. Next week, we'll be discussing the outcomes of these Eastern and Western Conference Finals. And, yeah, that's all for me. Ladies, do you have any final thoughts before we say goodbye to our audience?
Jay Nicole, what you got?
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. I love all the comments. Damian Hernandez, yes, let's bring LaMelo Ball to Chicago so he can play with his brother. Let's do it. Let's put all 3 of the Ball brothers on the same team. I'm just saying. That's it.
That'd be dangerous.
That would be dangerous. But this has been an awesome episode. I'm super juiced about this, and we, like I said, next week we're gonna be talking about the NBA Finals. And if you're gonna get any NBA Finals coverage, it better be from the Sports Sensei, because we do it better than anybody else in the world right now, and we're taking over everything. We're coming for everything that we owed. And like I said, rip the truth.
Call me.
I'm gonna be on your line, girl. I'm gonna be on your line.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Have a great night. See y'all.
Bye.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.